for you consciously to say, I'm open. I'm really open to seeing the magic and mystery of what can be here, and not forcing or demanding or feeling upset if it doesn't flow the first time, but just saying, no, I'm open, and then see when and what comes through. So, for an example, sometimes if you try to look at energy for too long, it disappears. But if you go outside and you're just looking and you gaze up to the sky and you can start seeing the prana move through, and you have to go in that space of like daydreamy space. You have to go in that daydreamy space. But if you try too hard to focus, it disappears. So the same with hearing, and the same with sensing the presence. Like right now, as people start out, and I'm not quite sure where you are, but this is what they're sharing. You want to practice receiving the energy that comes in rather than pushing so much to touch your guides. Welcome to the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast, where we speak about all things related to spirituality, soul level healing, intuitive guidance, frequencies, and much more. I'm Amy Sikarskie, licensed vocational nurse, past life hypnotherapist, master intuitive energy healer, and a clairvoyant physical channel. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Spirit School Online, where we offer courses in energy therapy, free guided meditations, courses and information around learning to connect in with your spirit guides, and much more. You can find me at amysikarskie.com and offerings at spiritschoolonline.com. Hi everyone, this is Amy Sikarskie, and welcome to this guest healing session today for Danielle. I'm so happy to share this experience with you, Danielle, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Amy. I'm very excited. Thanks.
You're welcome. I am as well. We've been visiting a little bit, and many archangels came through. And what we're going to do right now is set the space in a broader way. So although we've set the space within ourselves, what I like to do right now, because like, whoa, yeah, they're strong. I love this. We have a big, beautiful team today. We're going to expand the bubble. It's like a boundary of light around both of us. So you can relax and receive. You might notice the energy in your space shifting. And for listeners as well, you can call this energy into, and that will help you to be in this space of, I'm hearing like this calm, reverent vibration where if you've had a lot of hustle and bustle from the day, your system can just calm. You can be very peaceful. And so I think overall that would be a really nice experience to have on a rushed kind of hurry type of a day. So go ahead and relax here. Feeling the light come down all around you. And you might notice it go out all the way to the walls of your room or a further edge of your space, and up to the ceiling, and then a little bit beyond, like a dome of light all around. And I'm hearing the words peaceful vibration. And I'm also hearing centered and balanced. So it's helping everyone to center and come within. So you might take a breath and breathe and recognize the part of you that's in your body, and also feel the support that's around you, that peaceful vibration that's around you. Okay. How are you feeling, Danielle?
I'm feeling very centered.
Everything's feeling really beautiful and calming, a lot of peaceful energy coming through. And now I see shimmer of rainbow come around for more stabilization. And I'm hearing the word activation. So it's really this pretty, like, I would say sherbet type of colors, those greens and yellows, orange and pinks. And it's bringing with it joy and peace and this feeling of happiness that's coming around into your energy system. And again, they're saying this is activation. So it's like a brightening frequency where I see all of this glitter light coming in and it's rubbing across your energy field to break away any stagnant energies that have kind of deposited, they're saying, and caked on. And really, it looks like a very thin layer of it. I can tell you've been doing a lot of work to keep your energy pure and cleansed and just really be discerning. I'm hearing of what you allow in and what you don't. And they're saying, for the most part, energies that disrupt you, energies that you're like, oh, I don't want to participate with that, you're pretty much aware of when it comes to what's going on in this life reality. So I'm interested, we'll see what comes through today. And to that, they're saying, take another breath in and visualize now the energy coming into your crown and then down to your brow chakra. And our guests can do that as well. All of our listeners can pull the energy. It's source light and it's beautiful frequency. So now that it's flowing down your crown, building and activating at the brow, flowing through the throat, your thymus, high heart space, and down to your heart, your solar plexus, sacral and root. And if anybody felt it go really fast down through, then that's just sharing that those spaces are really clear. And so you can also then let the energy come back up. It might even go down to the feet. I'm getting this information. Might even go down past the feet. You can feel it travel down to your earth star chakra and then let it build and it will come back up to continue to fuel and charge up the system. So now that we're in a beautiful space, Danielle, I'm going to um, open this moment for messages and to read your energy field and see what information your team has for us today. So, some of the archangels that are here are Michael and Metatriel, Zachiel and Sandalphon. We also have Raguel, Jeremiel. Did I say Metatron? I'm feeling Metatron strong. And then as we were just prepping before we really introduced the podcast, we also had the prophet Elijah here, and he comes from the space of the human experience, and he's known to be Archangel Sandalphon, the archangel of music. So he's here, which is fascinating. So music's very important. I'm seeing that, and it's also beyond music, it's sound wave frequency. So he's talking about doing meditations with mantras. If you're sitting and you're like, okay, I'm going to dedicate this time, I'm going to really sit down and do meditation, but also a moving activation, daily meditation of life, the mantras, the thoughts that we say in our head, but then what comes out of the mouth, and that can really support you through this upgrade. Yet they're saying you're going through an upgrade. Additionally, they are talking about music with words and messages. And they're also talking about syllables and tones. So, different accents. If you feel like saying a word one way that isn't how you typically would say it, just go for it. Those long vowel sounds, the deeper tones that come through, they're saying let your pitch and the range fluctuate to what you think you might need because it looks like you're toning and tuning your body. Do you like to sing or do light language or tone or anything like this? Is this all new information or is it something that you typically are experiencing?
I do really love to sing. I don't sing for a crowd, only for myself. But I've always, and it's interesting right now because I'm having a really big frog in my throat and I don't know why.
Clearing. Yeah.
Maybe I need to be clearing something.
Yeah.
Um, I'm always fascinated to learn more about toning. In your other podcasts, you do discuss that, and I actually looked up some on YouTube, but I
Mhm.
haven't done anything like that.
Okay, it's gonna come natural for you, like, I can already feel it coming in. They're showing me by bringing the energy into my body what your experience will feel like. So I see you sitting, in lotus pose, actually, and you might wanna get a couple of instruments, so it's totally up to you, like the pan drum. Have you seen those? They sound so
Mhm.
beautiful. Um, and or a drum, even a different any kind of hand drum. I see you
Okay.
and you're moving, and then the energy is starting to move. You can do bowls if you want, and you can also do sound recordings. So you're going to invite the frequency of sound and movement in, and you'll start to feel the energy come in through you. And as your body starts to sway, the energy is moving up, like from your kundalini upwards, and then you breathe, and on the exhalations, you let whatever sounds come out. This is how they want you to start working with it. And this
Okay.
is similar to how I started vocal channeling, is that, I would work with my team and let their energy come through and breathe and let the sounds come out the vocal cords. It's going to sound different. You might feel like that frog in the throat, high pitch, low pitch, stutters, or long continuations. Sometimes when the council speaks, they just did a they just did a session for Layla, and I listened back and I was like, they wanted to hold that word out for like 30 seconds, but cut it short, I guess. Because of they were giving a message. But
Yeah.
sometimes you'll find like that the tone just wants to keep coming through. Not only will it be clearing and creating an activation of resonance within you, but then anybody that hears it and listens to it will be as well. I have not done any light language in this way, recorded for others, but like I can feel it really coming in. So you might find that you can feel it and hear it where it comes in a beat and a rhythm, and then the longer tones. So you can have the pulsations and then it can spread out. Oh my gosh, did you hear my little dog? I'm gonna have to say that again. He so
I
he's
did.
he's clearly having a dream, but we'll pretend. So he's over here toning.
He sounds like a big dog. He's like, "Woof, woof."
He's
Oh, maybe
so
a little
little.
hiccup, a little
Y
hiccup.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, right on cue, Bosco,
He's
yeah.
toning. He's teaching me how.
Yeah, it's just coming through. So and it's funny because that's kind of what I was feeling, like little spurts of sound. But the
Okay.
number one thing is to just understand this is energy wanting to move through you. So you
Okay.
just let it move through and don't hold back. And that's why you can do it in your private space if you want to get it started. That is going to clear, of course, but I see it expanding your vocal cords and your chakra and then going up through your ears. And it's just making me smile because right as we got on, you said your AirPods kept popping out.
They did.
And I was like, "Oh, there's something going on with the ears here." So,
I've had crazy ringing in my ears for the last
okay.
2 days too. Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be able to go today and work with your ear chakras. And if they ask me to, I'll have you just take your AirPods out for a minute, but not yet. Like, we'll see what they say.
Sure.
Yeah, and it is a thing, like, there is a thing of electronics and how it can affect us. It just depends what frequency band and field they're working in, that if it's going to create a disruption in such a way, but, we'll be conscious of that. So,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see what else they're sharing. There's like this big band of energy that's holding you back to the past, and it feels like a past life. And the way that I see it is if you had this really wide, maybe 2-foot scarf, and it wraps around in front of your aura from about your shoulders up. Now, it's not pressing on the physical body. So it's out in the aura, but it is creating some sort of a disruption. It is holding you back and it's blocking the fullest clarity that you can have for vision of your future and of yourself. And what does it mean to live in the earth life reality? This is Elijah coming in now. saying how you know who you are. We all know who we are outside of this dimension when we're in that space. But then when we come in, it's like, okay, we're in a new game here. It's like a new video game. What are the rules? What are my gifts? Can I jump and fly and spit fire? I see Mario Brothers, the fireballs. Like, is that allowed here? Is it possible? And they're saying that due to the collective consciousness programming, or the, how do we want to say it, what is acceptable and what the collective is believing in, kind of holds a container of what we can do and what we cannot do. And that's really interesting. But we're shifting to this new frequency. So, like in the past, telepathy was so woo, like, oh, telepathy. Yeah, right. Like that's not a thing, but it is. And more we're experiencing that. Also, hearing guides and angels, seeing interdimensionally, seeing energy with our eyes open. There have been times on earth where that has happened, where we were very connected as man, and it was not something that was shunned. But then, because it helped us to stay in our autonomy and sovereignty, then the rules and regulations, Elijah saying the lies of mankind came in and told people, you can't do that, you're crazy. And as children, they just kept shunning them or shutting them down, and then they shut their gifts down. So you're opening more and more of these gifts, and he's saying that by taking this energy off of you will help you for that so subtle subconscious programming that we've had. um, People can start releasing it the more and more they work with letting go of energy from the past. And for you today, that's what we will be doing, is releasing that. And so all it becomes is this opportunity now for you consciously to say, I'm open. I'm really open to seeing the magic and mystery of what can be here, and not forcing or demanding or feeling upset if it doesn't flow the first time, but just saying, no, I'm open, and then see when and what comes through. So, for an example, sometimes if you try to look at energy for too long, it disappears. But if
Mhm.
you go outside and you're just looking and you gaze up to the sky, and you can start seeing the prana move through, and you have to go in that space of like daydreamy space. You have to
Mhm.
go in that
Mhm.
daydreamy space. But if you try too hard to focus, it disappears. So the
Okay.
same with hearing, and the same with sensing the presence. Like right now, as people start out, and I'm not quite sure where you are, but this is what they're sharing. You want to practice receiving the energy that comes in, rather than pushing so much to touch your guides. Okay, I have to clear my throat. This is so wild. Hold on. There is so much energy clearing. Okay, one sec. Oh, that was good.
That was really good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we had to clear our throats. It is coming through to clear, clear, clear. I'm loving it. Yeah, so okay. So what they were talking about is in your space, you're going to be noticing your meditations shift a bit. And they want you to start just observing and lightly focusing, like you're aware it's your intention, but you're not in the head focusing really hard. You kind of say, okay, this is what I'm open to today. These are my intentions. And then what I do is I kind of let my energy expand and my thoughts go out into my energy field. Then you're vibrating in that space. You're speaking with the universe. You're communicating based on your frequency, and you can relax. So you
Okay.
start your meditations like, okay, whatever needs to come through, let's let it come through to work on my activating, and that activation of your gifts and your connection to your team and the light language that's going to come through. So then, as you're starting out, you relax your space. You do everything like we did now, or your own version of it, where you center, you ground, and you pull light in. And then, after it's set, your space is set, you relax and let your energy kind of flow out a little bit. Now they're showing me the boundary around you. You might go maybe 10 feet off, like across the body, and then relax within that. And then allow for your guides to come through. Start to
Okay.
feel the energy. And you can begin by inviting in a frequency of like peace. I would like to feel the frequency of peace, and notice where, okay, they're saying, let's do this now. So
Okay.
here we go for reals.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
So go ahead and relax. And everyone else can feel this as well. The frequency of peace will be coming in. So we invite in the light and love of divine consciousness, higher self of universal truths and abundance, light. I'm hearing glory, which is like when I hear glory, my energy lifts and expands. So it's glorious energy coming in. And here we are inviting in the frequency of peace. And feel that come in around you now. And as it begins to come in around you, you might notice that it begins to come closer and closer. And you can feel the softness and the strength. And you might hear the tone or the sound of this peaceful vibration. And you might also recognize a color, and memories might come up. Memories of spaces and places that were not so peaceful are coming to clear and heal. And you might also go to a special place that's peaceful for you. You might recognize a place that you see in your dreams or meditations. Oh, that feels so good to me. How are you feeling?
I feel great. That was beautiful. Yes, that was
Wonderful.
beautiful. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah. So that's how you would start your sessions. And then you can invite in. So here comes Michael. He wants to come in. So, Archangel Michael. So, for an example, let's do this here. We'll let his energy come in. So, taking a nice, relaxing breath or just opening by relaxing the physical body. And notice as Michael's energy comes closer. Yeah. Feel him come in, and you might hear or sense a color. You may also feel messages. I did get a fun little message. He was talking to me, and I'll share, but I wanted to see if you got any messages or how you're feeling besides your
My
AirPod popping
my
out.
jumping AirPods. Um, I actually I didn't get any messages, but I just felt it felt obviously different from the energy of peace. It was more um actually I could feel it on my physical body, like almost a pressure around my jaw and my neck and my shoulders. It was like I was being held but lifted.
Okay.
Um, I more felt than sensed anything, and I didn't see any colors with that, but I just felt, it felt I don't wanna say heavier because it's not heavy, um, but I felt more actual hands-on and I was being lifted. It was very interesting.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you can see my eye is twitching now. It just started. So the energy is
Yeah,
really strong. When you were sharing that, he was showing me how that energy had pushed the AirPod out. So that's why you have tingling.
yeah, and that's what I felt. I felt a tingling and a pressure in my jaw, and then it just shot out the side again. I don't know why it keeps doing that.
I think
Well,
it's a
yes, I do.
message. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like you mentioned, that doesn't happen.
Right,
So, it's a physical experience, a physical manifestation of the energy that's here and how they can move and come into the physical world, and the
right,
energy can get so strong that boop. And it's just like the sound waves, like I love the bass. I listen to music all the time, and that sound, it's sound, and it blasts, the whole car shakes. So it's just like that. They just push the energy through and boom.
right,
So
right.
yeah, he was so fun because today I was like, I'm gonna wear this purple shirt. And honestly, I cannot remember the last time I wore this. I don't even know if I've worn it. It's been in my closet. and and so he comes in, he was just laughing. He goes, "Thanks for wearing my color."
And the funny thing is when I was planning on this, since I was a little rushed to hop on today, I was gonna wear purple. I have a purple silky shirt I was gonna wear, but it's
Wow.
it's lighter than yours. It's a little bit lighter, but yeah, it's purple. That
I
was my
love
plan.
that. Well, you can put it on
Mm,
after to say,
I
"Hey,
will. I
Like a little
will, I
nod to
will.
Michael.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Yeah. Oh, it makes me laugh. This is so beautiful. Yeah. So this is a perfect example of so many things, like how playful they are, how what it feels like to notice energy, the messages for you that you're going to be going through an upgrade, and how it doesn't have to be serious or like sometimes we can make it so serious that we can block the experience.
Mhm.
And that's when they're saying children don't have these preconceived notions of their limitations for somebody to say to them, no, that's not possible. So they want us to start just going in it in a playful way and see what happens. And you'll
Okay.
feel the fullness of the light around. And that's what he wanted to say when you were talking about it's not heavy, it's a fullness. Like that's a way
Mm.
you can feel the energy, like really filling up that space within you. So they keep clearing. I'm feeling it. You might feel it too. A lot of clearing of energy. And this is what they're sharing for you is that it's not so much releasing thought forms or emotions right now, which is interesting. It's just kind of like everyday byproduct. But really what they're doing is they're expanding your channel inside. So you'll start to feel that. I don't know, like I can feel the energy bubbling up.
Yeah.
And when they push it, and then the throat, when we've cleared our throat, that does clear energy. But also, when you make that sound and you clear your throat, you're physically moving the muscles, but you're also vibrating and it's turning it like activation to open it more and more. So your toning will start off that way. And you can start your toning high pitched or low. When the Council of Light started channeling with me like years ago, it was kind of really high, and then they worked with it to regulate it to a tone that we would find pleasing to the ear. Um, but sometimes they can come in lower too, and the archangels can come in lower, and the energy rises. So they will tap on your chakras when you're in your space. In fact, they're saying, let's do that now. So,
Okay.
yeah, relax here. And they're going to tap on the different chakras for you to feel it, and I'm not quite sure. So let me ask them. Yeah. So closing your eyes, if you will, and then feel what chakra the energy comes to, and then just say it when you feel it.
I'm feeling it like in my lungs, heart.
Okay. Your lungs and your heart.
Mhm.
Okay. So I just held up like two and three. So that's so interesting. So what they did is they put in some orange and it rushed up. So orange works with the throat too. So I think they're linking you together. That's why they were. I'm like, why are they showing this exercise? So the chakras can link together and they balance. So they were pushing energy on my end at your sacral and solar plexus, and I think it was activating and pushing up and through to come out your heart and your lungs. So we have these chakras that link. And so this is, and they're so fun. They don't tell me ahead of time the answer. I'm like, why are we doing it like this? Okay. So this is how you might experience it. So you don't have to go through textbook, like textbook foundations are wonderful. But then after you get the foundations through, you can start playing and it can be very creative. They're telling me it's like your ABCs, and after you get the ABCs down, you can write poetry and you can write music and it can be colorful. So then you're going to start to notice when they're working with you might get two messages. So don't question yourself. Like you might say, oh my gosh, I feel it out my throat, but I'm feeling purple or I'm feeling pink or I'm feeling orange. And that's okay because within the dimensionality of the aura, there's different colors. We have the different energy bodies, and that's one thing, like when people say, what color is my aura? It's like, well, it's this today, but it could change over time, based on where we are with they're saying life mission. What are we in that chapter of life? What are we about? And also our mood of the day. But this is something they want to share with you that you might feel the energy come in, but start to activate a different tone or color. And this is how they are what's the word here? It's not collaboration, but that could work too. Oh, calibrating. This is how they're calibrating your system. So they just go in and they touch with light and they'll say, where are you feeling it? So exercises for you and for them are to go into meditation and let the energy come in and then say to them where you're feeling it. so they can push a little bit more and a little bit more. And getting feedback with your team is important. So, this is whenever we work with spirit, be it angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, whomever, this
Mhm.
is a partnership. It's a friendship. It's like they are there to support you. And then we do our job here to support them. So feedback is so important. And if you feel called to have a specific mission, then they're there to give us the tools and the encouragement and support. And then we're the ones that go and do the mission. So it's a team work. And that's what they're sharing for you. They're like, "You're getting geared up, girl, for your mission." It feels like another chapter coming through. And that
Awesome.
would be, yeah, Jeremiel's energy helping you through the transition. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I feel like you've already closed their sharing a lot. Like you've tidied up and you're in that space of flowing to the next place now, like
Mhm.
starting the next chapter.
Mhm.
How does that sound for you? I feel like there's a couple of little loose ends, but does that resonate or do you have questions around that?
It does resonate. I do feel like there's a couple areas that I'm still a little stuck, I want to say. But I do feel that I am expanding in all of the things that you're talking about. And that's what I've really been working hard in the last 3 years, I would say, with all of
Okay.
those things. So that does resonate. But I do feel like you said there's things that are still holding me back a little bit on clarity and confidence and worthiness. So
Hmm.
yes. Mhm.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. As you're sharing that, they're reminding, we're going to do energy work today. And
Beautiful.
so, yeah, we'll release that scarf. I just call it like a scarf. That makes sense. It's
Mhm.
around you. We'll clear that out. And then they'll replace it with clear energy that has color to it, but it's clean. So
Mhm.
I'll let you know when we get to that point because I think it's so helpful to understand, especially when you can feel it, then you start to understand frequency and what does that particular vibration, like what is the color that represents that particular vibration. It always, I think, really helps. But we will also be working with your heart and your sacral and your root chakra. So there's some energy there for that like unworthy, uneasy sensation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's trauma, I'm hearing past life trauma, earth life reality programming, and all of this. And they're bringing through a message again really strong. Like I can feel it. Woo. Thank you, guys. Like I'm like, I got them. It's like it came in, my
Thank
head's like swimming. Woo. So this is strong message that the council has brought in the past, and now the angels are here today, and they're saying the same thing. They're like, who is in the body? Like you are in the body. We're in the body. So we're here because there's a shift happening. They're helping us, but we're in the body. So if you're here, like don't doubt yourself, Like they really want you to understand you're supposed to be here. You signed up or your light is so strong. You're like, yeah, hey, let me go in. And then
Mhm.
we go through that amnesia. So it's a part of remembering, not always the details of the mission, although that does come through. But they're saying if it all came through at once, we'd be so overwhelmed, you know? So it comes through in stages as we need. But
Mhm.
also, you're remembering how strong you are. And the more that you talk to your guides and your team, you're going to feel more confident in it, and the more you talk to them, the easier it will be for them to communicate to you every day in a crowded restaurant or, like just in the wildest places. So we all might say, well, I can only talk to my team in meditation or when I'm automatic writing. And they're like, that's not how it's going to be. Like they're going to be there in the thick of it, in the
Mhm.
chaotic moments, like standing in Times Square. They're going to be there. And
Mhm.
that's what we work up to. So what we work up to is understanding your energy, who you are, which they say, girl, you've got it down. Like you know who you are and you know when other
Mhm.
energies come around. And at that point, it's what energies are you allowing into your space? So if there's something that feels uncomfortable or not a part of this reality or your purpose, you excuse it and ask it to leave. Now, two things here they're sharing with you and our audience that sometimes people, when they start working with spirit, it makes a lot of sense, but don't get scared because it's just like if a stranger comes to your door, you don't answer it. Or you talk through, the peephole or what have you and say, "Who are you? No, thank you." Also to that, it's like if you had an acquaintance or a friend or even a family member that's causing so much drama in your life and pulling you off course, you're like, "Hey, I gotta take a step back here because I'm getting really distracted. And this energy that you keep inviting, like that they're inviting in and recreating, is now wearing off onto you, and you're not feeling in your vibe for the day." So it's about discernment. And I'm also hearing the word discretion. So, like, how is it played out? So, there's empathy, compassion, and strength that you can share with those that you love. But at some point, if it's continuing and not resolving and it becomes an impediment to your life path, then they're saying that's when you use your discernment and say, okay, I need to step away for a bit. And this is just what they're showing an example of. We navigate through reality and frequencies in the physical world with others and also spirit. So you know how, and you'll feel when it's like uncomfortable and it's not supportive of you or your family or what you need to focus on. So at that point, after knowing your energy and then who or what frequencies you allow in, then it's developing more of a relationship with the ones that you are communicating with. So if it's a grandmother that's crossed over who wants to bring words of encouragement and wisdom, then you're like, "Hey grandma, you can come in anytime. Let me know if there's a message, something I'm not seeing, or an angel or a guide." That it's where they want to work up to the if you're in the grocery store and they're like, "Hey, try that, like, grab that product," like, maybe grandma's like, "Try that, you might like that, the kids are gonna love it," that you
Mhm.
can feel that coming through, and it's not that you're in meditation or with your oracle cards asking for messages. So, they're just bringing that through for you because this is a part of your reality day to day, and at whatever space you recognize that to be, it's going to enhance for you moving forward. Um, in this way of it, you are going to be going through an upgrade for the next 3 years. You're just going to see it get stronger and stronger and stronger. And then it's going to be your reality. There will be no questionings. At the beginning, you might question, but they say you just look at it of the way of like, oh, I'm sensing that. Okay. Is that accurate? Let's see how it plays out? So don't doubt yourself, but just kind of notice it like, oh, I think I hear something. Okay, let's see what comes of this. Then over time, you're gonna be like, "Oh, totally heard that. I'm not even going to take a second to, delay," like they say, "Hey, this is a strong no." You're like, "Yep, that's a no. I don't need 3 days to think about it. I'm just gonna give you my
Right.
answer now," or yes. So, so Michael's talking with you about this, and he is bringing a cobalt blue around you that looks like this fire of light right now. It looks so beautiful. He's also bringing gold in. It looks like glitter and also fiery golden flames, right down the middle of your body, your heart. I don't know if you can feel it. It's happening.
Mhm.
Your heart, your solar plexus, down your sacral, down your root, and your legs and your tailbone. And he's saying, like, tuck your tailbone in a little bit when you stand to feel the energy go straight. Just like kind of move the body and you can realign to feel it go through you. He's wanting you to notice that energy where you're standing like a strong, grounded warrior, kind of chest out, shoulders back, like, oh, I've got this. Nothing can mess with me because I have the light of God around. This is what he's saying. So if you ever feel like you're going through a challenge in life, like a challenging experience in life,
Mm.
that physical posturing and inviting his light in is going to help you feel like, no, I'm supportive. I got the message. Here's an example they're giving. If something's happening at the school for your children, and so I'm like, okay, but I don't know. I think your children are older, but it's just an example. So for you have to go to the school board because they're showing like how it can help play out in the physical reality. But you have to go to the school board. Something is not going right. And Mama Bear is like, no, this is out of line and this is what needs to be for the safety of our children. And there's a lot of pushback and excuses, and you're unwavering. you can call on Michael so you can stand with that power and strength and the energy of the others, like those glaring looks. You can hear telepathically that they're not agreeing with you, that they have, questionable thoughts about you. Like, it's not even going to matter. You're like, I'm going to speak this truth here, right here into this reality, and you will hear me. And you're going to feel really, really strong because Michael will be with you. And so you adjust your posturing and you let his light come in, and his energy will go around you. So he's talking about like the purples, but also the cobalt blue and the golden light can go around you for communication. And I do see that that orange, like this gold, this is a citrine crystal. I don't know if you can see it. And it's used
Mhm.
for communication. So like that color of flame can kind of just like glisten off of you so people will hear you. And if they don't want to hear you, conscious or subconscious, the energy will be heard and felt, and it will kind of wake them up. Like, oh, maybe I do need to listen. There's an energy here that's calling my attention. So, how does this all sound, and does it make sense?
Yeah, it sounds actually beautiful. So I
Okay.
love that. I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, are your kids older? Will you remind me?
I
How
have
young?
2 girls, 10 and 14, so they're not too old.
Oh, okay. They're still in school. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So and I can and there's been times in the past where I've had to voice my, opinions and things with school, so it does resonate on certain levels, and if I ever need to do that, that's a beautiful exercise to do to really, stand in my truth.
Hmm.
And you can hear again my throat is froggy. So yes, I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful that I can call upon that energy to really um, clear my voice so I can speak my truth.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, so you have some years left to go if anything comes
Mhm,
up with the
mhm.
school board. Okay.
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. And to that, the clearing of the throat, I really like that this is happening because it just brings through more information that yes, there could be any hesitancies and energy of that clearing. And then also it's opening, like we talked about. But let's say that it's related to something else. Sometimes we hold energy in the body, and that's why
Mm,
it's so nice to massage it out or stretch it out, help it release, drink lots of fluids, the saltwater bath, and all of that. So, today we are talking about voice, but if you feel that your courage and strength needs a little bit more, then they're sharing that you can work with your sacral and root to help you stand up taller and then pull the energy into your solar plexus. And there's more ways of it, like working with your dantian, like when we work with martial arts and stuff like that too, like how you hold yourself so the energy can be really strong. Um, but you start at the base chakras and then it flows up to the heart space. And then it's like, okay, I've got enough strength and support in my awareness of who I am and what's appropriate that I can stand like a warrior and then just let that fire of light and love come out your heart. So for you, they're saying that as you're moving through over the next 6 months, you're going to be working with your chakras to strengthen them more and more with music and sound. And so you can feel that, like if you listen to or play your own bowl for each chakra, kind of feel what it feels like. And it might feel like a cramp or a pressure or something as you play. And that would be an indication that there's something there to clear out, that the chakra is tight because it's a little hesitant for some reason. So you start with the music out further in the aura and come a little bit closer and breathe. And here they're saying this is when you start toning. And then you can accentuate it with activation meditations of mantras. They're saying, so this is like you would say, I am strong, I am bright, I am worthy. And you can say that. And then as the music is coming through or you're toning, and you can make that part of your day. They want you to make it a part of your day as you're doing dishes or driving or laundry in the shower. I am bright. I am strong. I am loved. Whatever needs to come through to remind you, um, because you are here to hold that frequency. And this is like actually, they're saying, we're so big on self care. This is self care at the best way, like mind, body, spirit, soul. The activation words are going to spark that light within you and have you be able to hold that power and reassurance. So, yeah, this is feeling really good today. Everything we're talking about is already also starting to shift in your aura and energy body. I'm seeing your ear chakras are, it's so funny. They're widening. No wonder your AirPods are falling out.
And everything just, like, popped. Even in my hip, something just popped in my right hip and in my ears too. I just felt that.
Okay. Yeah, they're
It actually feels like
expanding.
a pressure was released. Mhm.
Beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they're doing. They're opening your energy to hold more light. So you're going to feel strong and it's natural. You're going to hold more light. I'm not getting that you have to do any exercises. It's the lights coming in today. You're going to be activated, and that will be your new space. And from there, you're going to recognize that everything has more power to it. So you'll have more clarity and more strength and this awareness. Like if you Here's an example. If they were trying to talk to you and maybe it took 5 seconds yesterday, today it will take three. Everything's just going to speed up a little bit more. It'll be very, very enhanced because your system can hold it. And not only can your system hold it, what they're sharing is, as we mentioned earlier, you are communicating with spirit. So your signal is stronger. And communication is a give and a take. It's a partnership. So your energy field is stronger and it can share with them the feedback. So they're getting the feedback. And, the way they're talking about it is like we used to have dial up modem internet, and now we have really fast fiber internet, Wi Fi, like we have all this fast way of it. Like the information is just there.
Mhm.
So that's how it's going to be for you more and more. In fact,
Okay.
Michael's saying it might feel like a download, and you can call it that, but know that they already heard your questions. So your thoughts, like you might get, and this has happened to me with the council. Sometimes I don't even get the question out of my head and the message comes in.
Ah, I
So
love it.
yeah, you'll be feeling that more and more. And they want to reiterate, they really want to confirm or just bring this through that you're working on the ground, like you're in it to help with the system and with the people that are here. So you're kind of going to need that. And if you have challenging conversations, again, they're bringing us back to the school board, and the stuff just comes out of your mouth and you're like, I don't know why I said that, I didn't plan to. But
Mhm.
well, you were channeling, or you were in tune. They gave you the words and the voice to say it because it needed to be. And so just know, don't ever doubt what came through in that way. So for example, if you were like, I'm gonna go in because this is not right, I'm going to request, 1 through 5, and then all of a sudden you're like, and I want this and this to be looked at. That's a message. So
Okay.
yeah, so that kind of will come through in that way. Um, your energy field right now out on the 6th through 7th dimension is purple. Michael is so around. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so put your shirt on later.
I will. I will. I should. I so will. I wish I had it on now.
Oh yeah, no,
Mm.
it's all good. Yeah, the energy's around you. It
Yeah.
looks so pretty. And then any deep amethyst crystals, you can work with those, or any, so like amamatrine or any really pretty purple crystals you can work with over the next few weeks or months. And that's going to help you enhance your connection with Michael and to embody the frequencies of strength he's saying. So
Okay.
fascinating. Yeah. It's that spiritual strength that I'm seeing. So, right now, we can start some energy work. I am seeing that the energy is starting to release from around you, that scarf. But I also see where energy had come around your chakra in more of like a horizontal way, standing, or I'm sorry, vertical way. Yeah, in more of a vertical way. So the scarf goes horizontal around you, and then this one is more vertical around the front of your throat chakra. So we're going to pull those two frequencies off. Oh, yeah. So you can go ahead and relax. It's already happening. And I'm already seeing a message. This was like put on you by the Catholic Church in another lifetime, is what I'm getting. So, and
Okay.
I don't know if that resonates with this life as well.
Mhm. It
Yeah.
does. Yeah, I
Okay.
was raised Catholic, but we're trying to find a, I wanna say a new home, but it's stuff that we have been my husband and I have been discussing about the children and raising them, and yeah,
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was there. And so that's coming off of you. Um, it would be activated more. There's I'm not Catholic, but I've been to a couple services. And so I'm just seeing like maybe the prayers or there's something in the services that is traditional. Like it's been like that for, since the beginning of the church has, maybe
Mhm.
shifted a little, but it's there. So it would keep that energy strong around you. Like it would activate it and then keep it in your field from the other lifetimes. And this is doubt, guilt, fear, grief, and shame. And then I hear the word hatred and anger. So just want to be really clear. It's not that that's what's your energy, because we're removing this. This is energy that would be tied into all of that from the past. And I'm hearing the word disconnect, and I'm seeing like monks, like Catholic monks, priests, nuns. Like I'm just seeing clergy in their attire. So it's more like it's a systematic establishment. It's like an establishment that holds that vibration and keeps that consciousness. They're saying thought consciousness active and alive, and they just want to pull it out of your reality here so that you can feel free to communicate with God on your own. So in any way. And
Beautiful.
yeah, and they're just talking about like the ebb and flow and ins and outs of it, because and I'm hearing mysticism within the church. Like in some places it's recognized like saints and angels. Um,
Mm.
but then if somebody that's not like, a devotee or in the church in that way, they're saying to
Like, no,
say
no.
commoner, then it's not okay.
Mhm. That's right. That's right.
So, okay. I'm like, okay, yeah. So they're saying, that's interesting. So they want you to know that you have the right and the authority to make the own connection to God. And that programming around that is a form of control that they're releasing from you today. So you'll feel it a little bit easier within yourself, where it just flows a little bit easier and there's not hesitation to communicate with God. So,
Very good.
okay.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. So go ahead and relax. And then for our listeners, we're going into meditation energy space here for healing work. And I never put a time limit on it. So for podcast and for video review, I just shorten the time. And whenever you hear music, know that the time has been shortened for our energy work. So here we go, love. Go ahead and relax. Noticing everything start to flow through. There's pulsation of light coming up from your feet, all the way up from earth, all the way up through your root chakra. And it's like this beautiful glow of fiery white light at your heart space. And it's pushing anything out of your system that does not need to be there. And whatever is able to be released today, because they do want to share that too much at once can be a challenge for the system, the electromagnetic system of the body. So they're allowing you to clear and then to clear and to clear over time, but you will notice a shift for sure. So we're releasing some energies now. At the same time, you're filling with light and your aura is expanding. Okay, the energy is still coming in. And I actually see like wings behind you that are opening and shiny, like they're, well, not so much shiny, but they're opening and I can see them. There's a lot of light, so it's glowing. Yeah,
Feel
so
that too.
yeah. It's like earth angel energy, and it makes so much sense why so many archangels came in today. And Michael, like right here. And they're putting energy at your crown, your brow chakra, and then across your forehead to your temples. And then I see it going down behind your ears, down your throat, on the sides of your neck, over to your thymus, which is the high heart chakra, down to your heart, through to the back of your heart chakra, front of your heart chakra, and all around your heart chakra is lighting up. There's an etheric heart chakra here, so I'm going to charge that up. It's out in the aura. As it's charging up, your wings are like, woo, they're getting all this energy. So you might feel that. It could feel like a pressure and then an expansion, just depending what stage it's in.
I'll put my shoulder blades in the back.
Yeah. Yep, right
It
at
is a pressure.
the
Mm.
pressure. Okay. Let me know when that pressure subsides. Oh, yeah. And I had heard the words anointed when they did that energy around. So it's like a blessing.
Dissipating now.
They're just testing your energy, like kind of like as a calibration. The energy's moving side to side around you to just kind of test for areas of weakness and where we can charge it back up. And I'm going to confirm that that scarf energy and around your throat was completely cleared, and then we'll charge that area too.
It feels much lighter.
Oh, so good. We're working at your throat now. Okay. How are you feeling?
Really good.
Beautiful.
Really
Yay.
good.
I kept hearing this song throughout your session here when the energy was coming in, and I actually heard it in my head before we got on. I need to find the artist, but basically the whole thing just says "I love you." Like it says that the whole way through is "I
Oh,
love you, I love you, I love you." And so what I'll do is I'll put the link in show notes and the information for it, and I'll send it to
okay.
you as well when I find it today. And
Great.
then I have a playlist on Spotify for the podcast of songs, so I'll put it on there as well if anybody's. It's the Spirit and Soul Healing playlist. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but it was just like all this love and support. And as I was here channeling again this beautiful energy from Michael, I just opened my eyes and I smile because behind the computer, I have a painting of him. So
Oh,
it's off
wow.
camera. Yeah, I'll send you a photo of that too. I'll put it up on
Yeah,
YouTube. Yeah,
that's
it's like,
awesome.
I'm like, oh, those were pretty much the colors that came in today.
There they are.
Yeah, so pretty. There's a lot of support here for you. Like, just how are you feeling? What if you could share kind of your experience for listeners?
Yeah, I feel really, if anything, I feel really clear. Just feel more bright and open. As you were moving throughout, I there was a lot of pressure and movement that I could feel, and it almost felt like a something was lifting.
Mhm.
And I just feel light and um, clear, like a clarity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. So pretty. We did work at your lower chakras, clearing. And again, for you, it's more like opening and letting a little bit release, but you're pretty clear. So I feel like what's happening here is you're going through this upgrade where you're expanding and then you can hold more light. So of course we would feel like clearer, more present, and
Hmm.
energy can come and go easier. So, the way I look at it, the more light we hold in the body and in the aura, it amplifies our communication with spirit and with our soul. And we just feel brighter and
Right.
shinier and clearer. Um, and then they did, I mean, the words I heard today, I was like, wow, this is like so beautiful and next level. Anointed, they brought this light in and they put it around your crown chakra across, like they went all of these places. And this lines here that they went through are part of other forms of energy healing that I've been trained in. Like there's these lines and spaces that reconnect you. And it was going into those places. And then your etheric heart was really pretty to see that charge up. And as it did, then your wings got bigger. They more full of light. And that's when you
Yeah.
said you were feeling the pressure at
I
your
did pretty significantly. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Right in my shoulder blades. Hmm.
I just want to move around, like move the shoulders.
I
And then
didn't
it
realize I
really
had wings. That's so
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody has these two transpersonal chakras at the back of their shoulder blades that, when activated, look like wings or like light flying through.
Hmm.
But specifically because, the angels are here, all these messages from the angelic realm. And then I asked, and they were like, Earth angel. So you could go with that if you want. If you want to say, oh, I'm an earth angel, that would be very fitting. And the wings looked like angel wings with the feathers. They're the vision that they shared with me, which is very symbolic of angel wings. Where,
Hmm.
like, let's say somebody feels like, oh, I'm not from the angelic realm, I feel like I'm more star being or elemental or what have you. Their chakras can still light up, but the wings will look a little different.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh,
So
so pretty.
beautiful. And as you were saying that, all I could see was almost kaleidoscope, bright white. It was beautiful. Hmm.
Wow. Right now or during this session?
During the
Okay.
session, it
Yeah.
was almost like I felt like my eyes were twitching. It was really cool.
That's so pretty because that's the color your wings were, bright bright white, That's just like so pretty.
Mm, it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and they're getting like really full of energy because it's opaque, like the crystal bowl here. This is like the frosted opaque white
Mhm.
versus a
Mhm.
clear quartz. So that means to me like there's more energy there. It's hmm. And like the word growing just doesn't seem to fit. It's maturing. You can hold more light.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's increasing and enhancing with the energy that's there for you. And then they did ground you, and that energy cleared off of your eyes. Um, that ribbon, I think it was affecting your eyes especially. And then I could feel like I had my eye was twitching earlier, and that was to denote, like, it's to share that it was clearing. So my physical body as a empathic physical channel will sometimes feel the same thing you're feeling to let me know,
Mhm.
like, that's what you're feeling. And then when it releases from me, I know it's released out of your system. And so it was twitching, and I'm like, oh yeah, they're doing a cleansing here. And it was my right eye. So I feel like that energy. I don't know, but did you say it was your left eye or
It was the both of them.
oh
It
both?
felt
Okay.
like it was both eyes, actually.
Okay.
Mhm.
So the
It was.
twitching. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two things, that's clearing like out old programming and energy from your aura, but they're talking about the mind, the brain, and the communication there. They were like literally pulling a program out. So, yeah.
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 That was so cool.
It's
That
so
is so cool.
pretty.
And I was actually having a little bit of lower back, and hip pain, and that is gone. So I don't know if
Okay.
that had anything to do with what you were doing, but,
Mhm.
um, everything feels better. My whole body.
Wow. Thank you for
Mhm.
reminding me because I actually was thinking or I sensed that during the session, because you had mentioned that it popped.
Mhm.
So that is typically like fear of moving forward or being held in place. And sometimes when it's uh what's the word? Torqued,
Mhm.
like one forward, one back, one up, one down. It's like, oh, there's something holding me down. And in the past, while this other part of me wants to move up and forward.
Mhm.
So it feels like, yeah, that was energy that cleared for you there. Mhm.
Beautiful. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can feel it. That's
Oh,
awesome. That's great. Ah, so
wow.
amazing. Thank you. This was
You're
amazing.
welcome. Yes. Thank you so much for joining today. Was there anything else that came up today that you wanted any additional clarity on, or how are you feeling with the information?
I think the information's amazing and it's beautiful. Um, I don't think so. The only thing I did question throughout is you were talking about like my team and different angels that came in. When it comes to like my spirit team, is there any I always wondered, like, do I have many? I know I always sense a lot of angels around me
Mhm,
too, and I do feel like I have a lot of guides always guiding me. But I always wondered, like, if there's a way to specify. Is there a lot? Is there a certain frequency that comes through with that?
mhm. Yeah, you have 5 to 7, and so sometimes, they come and go, they'll step in to help you for different parts of life, different chapters and what you're working on in that time, and these would be your
Mm,
specific guides, and they do have an angelic frequency to them. A couple of them feel like what just in my experience, I call, a spirit guide. And spirit
mhm,
guides, have had lives on Earth, most of them have, so that they could understand where you're coming from, which was interesting that Elijah came in to show you, like, hey, some of the angels even understand and know what it's like to be human. And,
mhm,
it's like just a different perspective from the experience. So you're surrounded by many angels and then your guides, your team. They would feel a little bit softer and just a little bit different. When you go into meditation, you'll feel this is what they're sharing, like when you ask people to come in, okay, hold on. Because for me, it's different. As a reader, the archangels always come in on my right side. And then the person I'm reading for, their team comes through on my left side. But my team comes through on my right side as well.
okay,
So let me ask them how you would feel it. Okay, so hold on one moment. You would feel the archangels come in on your right side and then down at the top of your crown chakra. And
okay,
it feels a bit lighter, like someone shined a flashlight, like boom, like all this light.
mhm,
Your guides will come through on the right side, but a little bit more forward.
okay,
So like maybe 1 o'clock. And the angels come in at like 2, almost 3 o'clock. And
okay,
so your guides are there. So when you're meditating and you feel them, see, that's the thing. They're really close. They're working together for you. Yeah. So they
mhm,
would be there. And then they say that when you are just you in meditation, they'll come in that way. And then your guides will fan out in front of you and also be on your left side for stability and support. And the archangels will kind of go up, over, and behind and around to like wrap you in light for stability and support. So that's how they help hold space. But this is their like how they would come in. So then you
okay,
might say, oh, I have a guide now talking to me, and he's at 11 o'clock right in front of me, standing.
mhm.
They don't usually stand at 12 o'clock. In my experience, that would be your higher self. Like that's
Oh,
really an invasive space to stand in. Like,
ah,
and nobody stands at 12 o'clock unless it's my own soul when I'm in communication. So just kind of
okay,
let you know.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just going off my experience, but I think it's because I was like, they're going to stand over at 11. So you have 11 and 1, like 12 o'clock would be your soul. And then if you go straight up, it would be God, source. So, highest level of God. But yeah, they'll bring the energy all around you. So you can kind of get used to working with them and where you feel the frequency coming in at and where they're standing. And typically the archangels don't come over to that 11 o'clock space. They would stay more on your right or pull light around to protect you. So they're always holding the light around the whole aura and the whole room and everything. But when you feel them coming a little closer or like louder to talk to you, this is where they come in and it's at the right side. hmm Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you.
amazing. It's beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I love
And
it.
thanks for asking that question.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love that clarity. That's really awesome. That's great.
You're
This is
welcome.
amazing. This is amazing. I love it. Thank you.
You're so welcome, love. Look how bright and glowy you are. So
I
full.
feel it. I feel so, um, I don't wanna say light because that's not I can't put the words to it, but, um, lifted,
Okay.
held and lifted. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Mhm.
so gorgeous.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for being here on Earth and holding space and really making a change. They just want to like confirm that and share that again for everybody and for you, especially because it's your session here. But if you're in the body, we're doing this really hard work. It's not to be discounted. So they want to thank you so much for that. And I do as well. And thank you for coming on the podcast and sharing your session with our community.
And thank you for all that you do. I love your podcast and all of your work. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, love. And for our
Thank you.
listeners, we will see you guys all again on the next episode of the Spirit and Soul Healing Podcast. And you can tune in next Friday for another energy therapy session. All right. Do-do-do-do.
Yay! My earbud popped out again. It
Yeah.
stopped popping and now at the end it just popped right out again.
I think
Oh,
it was like the last
yay!
little
It was
from
like
them.